Hello, welcome back everybody. Let's have a look at REN then, shall we? So a bit of a request for one of my subscribers. So let's get on it then, shall we? And like I say, I've not been very well, so I'll try and whiz through it. There's not a great deal to say about this one, to be honest with you, because what I'm seeing right now when we look at it on the daily chart, we kind of are looking at a slight tilt to the bearish, and which, you know, it's pretty obvious because we've got negative slopes on all of our moving averages apart from the 200 simple. But what we do have is we had an Ichimoku cloud cross here, the fresh cross, which basically meant a continuation of the move down from that level. So if we're being generous, we say that the cross took place there, and we've already been down 15% as a result of that. Now, what this cross generally means, it doesn't mean that it's going to go down X amount. It's not like a death cross or anything like that. There's no prescribed sort of drop figure. All it basically means is that there's likely to be a continuation of a move down from that level. Now, REN token isn't going on this chart anyhow. It's not a very old chart to go by, so that indicator alone isn't as valuable as it is on something like Bitcoin. It's just something to bear in mind. So you know, if we were to be playing it safe, we could say that it's likely to come back down to test previous support levels, and at the moment we're actually bouncing on a very significant support level as we speak right now. So let's just measure this one out, because you can see exactly where we are, and historically we've bounced on this level. Oh my god, like I say, I'm not feeling very well, so sorry about this. Not able to operate a computer very well, so you could say that we're bouncing on this support level now. What I would be very careful is that, because we've not been supported from it very positively, we've not had a big wick, for instance, when we came down to test it at this level. It looks to me like it wants to break down again and go down to an even lower support level. So I'd be careful at picking it up now. It doesn't necessarily mean that it won't pop, but going by this chart alone, there's no reason why it would. We're under the cloud, we've got the cross, negative slopes on all moving averages, the 50 beneath the 200 EMA, so it still wants to, and still looks bearish. We've got the MACD in the negative territory. So let's just have a look at it on a different time scale. We'll have a look on the 4 hourly, see how that looks. I imagine it'll still be bearish. So yeah, I mean, yeah, it's actually really bearish. We had a death cross here actually on the 4 hourly, and that is definitely playing out at the moment actually. So let's measure that one from here to the bottom level, or it's at now. So yeah, you can call that 8% from death cross on the 4 hourly. No, the 4 hourly's death crosses, they're not as great an indicator as a larger time frame. But it definitely has some relevance, and we've got that now, so we could be looking at a further retracement. Let's just go back to the daily, see if I can be a bit more useful for you. If I can just remember how to use a computer. So let's just have a look. I mean, realistically, if we do come down to test another support level, we had a decent bounce on this level here, and when we came down to bounce on it, which is roughly 400 satoshis or thereabouts. You can see that when we had a run here, when we dropped down beneath it, that's the sort of reaction you want to see from a support, not one that looks like this. Like I say, on the first test of it, it looks still to be bearish. And again, the death cross on the 4 hourly plus the Ichimoku cloud cross, for what it's worth, you know, it is an indicator after all, and it's better to use that indicator on a long-term trend, like a daily or even a weekly. The weekly's not going to show us a great deal, to be honest with you, because we did have a cross on the weekly as well back here. So yeah, it's a bearish setup still. It's still a bearish setup. So let's just work this one out a little bit closer. Sorry for rabbiting on. I don't know if this is any use to you. So we had, let's be generous and say the Ichi cloud price action was there when it took place. The price action went down by 14% from the Ichimoku cloud cross, and that's being generous. Otherwise, what we could also say is that the Ichi cloud crossed at this price action, which is pretty much exactly where we are right now, meaning that there will be a continuation of the move down. So I may be wrong. It's a difficult one to chart, but everything looks bearish. I would expect us, not expect, but I think it's likely to eventually end up back down at around about 400 satoshis before we find our way out of it and bounce from it. And that's just going by this chart, really, and nothing other than this chart. Anyway, I'm going to leave it with you there, because like I say, I'm not very well. I hope you find that in some way useful, or even understood what I'm saying, because like I say, I feel like death warmed up at the moment. I could quite easily just be slurring my speech, not making any sense at all. But yeah, have a nice weekend. Take it easy.